Hello everyone, my name is Azatru, how are you, and welcome to another Star Wars gaming video. In this video I shall be talking about what games we would like to see EA make in the coming years, but have a bit of realism to the discussion. As 2020 has just started and no EA Star Wars game has been confirmed to release this year, I thought now would be a good time to talk about future Star Wars games we want to see whilst remaining realistic and share some facts. I won't be talking about any of the LEGO or mobile games in this video, as they are not Star Wars gaming experiences like Battlefront or Fallen Order. EA have the exclusive console game license until 2023, meaning there is probably around 3 or 4 big Star Wars games in development and coming in the next 3 years. We all have some dreams of what they could be, and let's get into that. Games have become more expensive to make and sometimes take longer to produce nowadays, and we've not had many EA Star Wars games since EA completed their first game, Star Wars Battlefront, back in 2015. A big issue people have had is the lack of games from EA, and this year will bring that argument up again due to the potential lack of an EA Star Wars game this year. 2020 is a dawn of a new generation though. The next Xbox and PlayStation 5 will bring new power to developers, allowing them to create games beyond what we've seen before, and EA will be using that to their advantage. Something to consider is releasing a game at a launch of a new generation of consoles brings a few negatives. The first batch of games made just for those new consoles tend to be shallow, and it takes about a year or two before the full potential of the hardware specs are taken advantage of. The worst thing is the fact they have to develop for 2 more consoles. If EA were to release a new Star Wars game in November this year, they'd have more performance in the new consoles and PC to make it awesome, but development resources would be spent reducing its spectacle for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Battlefield 4's launch is a prime example of what goes wrong when you have 5 platforms to make for and test. These reasons could be a factor as to why a new Star Wars game may not release this year. I'm going to get started by taking a look at the state of EA Star Wars before getting into what is in the works. EA and DICE are going to be supporting Battlefront 2 for the foreseeable future, and a sequel is not on the table, at least for a few more years. Some people seem to think Battlefront 3 is happening this year or next year, but that is not the case. With new content and a big player base, DICE have cemented Battlefront 2 as the core Star Wars multiplayer game. Jedi Fallen Order released last year, bringing many of us what we wanted for so long, a strictly single-player story game. Respawn have started work on a sequel, which I doubt we will see release until 2022 due to the scale of the game like this one, the time to take advantage of the new consoles, and having it release a month before the next Star Wars film. Remember, Jedi is now a sub-series much like Battlefront. Let's talk specific games now. So we have a sub-series dedicated to lightsaber and force combat, plus we have a large-scale infantry warfare game series. But there are other areas of Star Wars not done justice in games for quite some time. I think 3 of the most asked for types of games are an open world sandbox, an RTS, and a starfighter combat game. Vehicles are a huge part of Star Wars, and we've had dozens of games such as pod racing to the beloved X-Wing series. Starfighter Assault is a great mode in Battlefront 2, but it is limited due to the scope of the game being it to add-on for Battlefront 2, and the lack of development resources, as well as interest for it, has kept it from having advancements. If a studio such as Criterion were to make a standalone starfighter or just general ship game, a lot of casuals would still be interested in picking it up as long as it had a single player component and a multiplayer aspect. I think this is an area that Star Wars has been lacking in recent times. The new films didn't give us what we wanted in terms of space battles, the starfighters themselves weren't as imaginative as the prequel era, and neither did we get that fulfilled in games other than Starfighter Assault in Battlefront 2, but rebellions are built on hope. I know a few people will ask about Criterion, and if they are making a new game. The good news is, since they left Battlefield 5 Firestorm last year, they have started developing a new game. Sadly, it is not Star Wars, but as far as we can tell, it will be a new IP. Now let's talk about open world games. With the loss of Star Wars 1313, Project Ragtag, and the fully open world project Orca, the hope of a proper Star Wars sandbox experience is all but dead for now. Open world games take several years to make, and EA just can't whip one up in no time. All parties, including EA, Lucasfilm and Disney, are to blame for the demise in the cancelled games, but maybe, just maybe, there will be an open world Star Wars game someday. I think the improvements to the CPU and memory in the new consoles could rejuvenate the possibility of an open world Star Wars game and give us the scale and quality we want. Having said that, it is important to remember Project Orca, the proper open world Star Wars game, was cancelled for a smaller scale version. Kotaku reported it is aiming for a late 2020 release date for the next gen consoles, but this was not a given and it could release after late 2020, plus we've heard nothing, literally nothing about this project in almost 12 months, so I'm sure things have been moved around. EA Motive Vancouver are hiring people, but not many, and 2 of the job listings are for a live service competitive shooter, which might be the current Plants vs Zombies game. That is not a single player Star Wars story game, so I bet it's not coming in 2020. EA did say recently a big Star Wars game will come in 2021 or 2022, so maybe this is the one coming in 2021. The cancelled games would explore bounty hunting, smugglers, and the villainy of Star Wars. The Mandalorian show gave us a good taste of it, but I think games could be the best form of media to help tell a story in the crime world. EA, please give it to us. Other EA studios are working on Star Wars games right now, specifically EA Motive Montreal. They have been hard at work on a new, to quote, very interesting Star Wars experience game since Battlefront 2's release. I have no idea when we will see it release because there is absolutely no information about it. I really hope it is another single player experience that is different from Fallen Order and what Battlefront 2 can provide in multiplayer. I don't care for the era, I just want a fun Star Wars game with a canon story and maybe a bit of multiplayer or some co-op depending on the type of game. Star Wars Empire at War is a classic, and if we were to get a brand new RTS that covers all eras, I would be extremely excited. A brand new Star Wars RTS on next generation of consoles would be absolutely incredible to see, but I just don't think we will get one for a very long time, which is sad. Same goes for something like a Republic Commando spiritual successor or a direct sequel. A single player only story in first person would be cool, but I'm not sure the wide scale hunger is there for it, especially with Battlefront being the shooter game even if it is mostly PvP. EA Studios that make shooters that are free to make this right now. Having said that, it would be a great game many of us would want, same goes for a new RTS. ILM X Lab finished up Vader Immortal, the VR series, and it was so much fun and the story was great. My hope is a new Star Wars game or experience for VR is being made over at ILM X Lab. A new Old Republic era game is something a lot of people would like to see, but the Old Republic MMO is showing no signs of being discontinued anytime in the near future. Plus Lucasfilm are still working out the era's place in canon, suggesting no game from that era is on its way unfortunately. As for a new MMO, it won't happen. They cost so much to make and the gaming landscape has changed. They wouldn't make a brand new Star Wars MMO when they have the Old Republic. As for when we can start to hear more about new EA Star Wars games, it is going to be a bit different this year. Star Wars Celebration is not until later in the year. EA Play in June is going to be the big first event of the year, and if there is a new game coming, EA will announce it then. There is always the chance of leaks though, we just don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. Then in late August, more Star Wars game news will come from Star Wars Celebration and possibly Gamescom, although Celebration would be the event EA would rather focus on. That's all I have for you on what EA Star Wars games we should get. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you learned something new from this video, so be sure to drop a like if you did, and subscribe to turn notifications on for more Battlefront 2 videos. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on everything I've discussed during this video down in the comment section below, and check out any of the 2 previous videos on screen if you haven't seen them, and I shall see you all in my next Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. Goodbye.